folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and nothing gets me through the day like a piece of CJ Nova 992 and snags. Smash the like button with a 2x4 and subscribe.
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992. And today we are back for another brand new recap. Today we have a special guest, but first I will introduce the man. It's all good. Snags, over to you.
Good day, everyone.
Love it. Is that just a pause? We're going for that?
That was my wee intro there, mate. Just a bit of that. But I'm trying to push focus onto the magazine, obviously. We have the People magazine there.
GK. Sponsorships, lads. Anyone wants it. And a lot has been asking for a guest, so we've reached out to the man, the myth, the Twitter suspended superstar, Baz. Baz, welcome to the Novo channel. Welcome to Baz. Introduce yourself.
Hello, thanks very much for having me on the show. And I watch it all the time, and I thought since you have a cool intro, I thought I would have my own wee bit of entrance music, But what happened was your agent got in contact with me saying you're trying to break this 9,000, subscribers, followers. So they gave me a shout, see what I can do. So unfortunately, I think you're going to be back down to about 4 after this, but we'll see what we can do. But thanks for having me, mate.
Not a problem, mate. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for all the help, 9,000 subscribers, lads. If you're new, subscribe, hit the like button. Come on, lads, everybody do it. That's it.
Subscribe or die.
Subscribe or die. If you didn't watch the previous We Welcome to Trade podcast, it will be in the description down below. But the very first story, we start off with Aberdeen as we usually do, and we'll work our way through. So they've won again, annoyingly. I just want to say, before we talk about the result, have you seen what McLeish came out and said earlier today, that he fancies them to finish second?
No, that's interesting, that. But from what we've seen so far, I think it's probably a likely shout.
Mm-hmm. He's not really surprising any of us. I think he's just reading the results and saying, aye, probably will. So wasn't that ballsy. A lot of people were saying, what do you think of McLeish as he turned his back on Rangers and stuff like that? I think he's no affiliate with us anymore. He's just been asked the question and he's answered it honestly. I think that's my thoughts on it. What about you guys?
I know it's realistic, like I said. I think obviously based on our performance of late, and obviously Celtic winning all of their home games, the other games. I mean, it looks definitely likely.
What about you, Baz?
Aye, it's interesting they've got Stevie May back. I thought he was a bit of a goal machine earlier when he was in Scotland before he went down south. I think he went down to something like Sheffield Wednesday, Preston. He only scored something like 8 goals in 51 games. Previous to that, he was a bit of a goal machine at Hamilton in Alloa. 25 goals, 3 games at Hamilton. And I think he's going to find that, that goal scoring mentality that he used to have before he went down south. But I don't know if I agree with that they're going to finish second. I think it's a bit disrespectful to Celtic because the chances are they'll finish second.
True that, and incidentally, May scored twice on his home debut for Aberdeen yesterday. So, like you say, Baz, I think he's rediscovering that form, and I think he was plagued with injury a lot down south, which is why he was not so prolific.
I think it's a great signing for them, though. To be honest, I'd have liked to see him coming to a Rangers or something. Because I think he's got goals in him, Tall, physical.
Agreed. I thought that a couple of seasons ago. When we were working our way up through the divisions, I always thought he would have been a good addition because he had that eye for goal. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. They also won again, so I think is that 3 wins out of 3 for Aberdeen?
Aye.
They're looking strong. Very
strong. And I'd just like to say at this point, actually, thoughts go out to Jimmy Calderwood and his family. Obviously, it's announced that he's been suffering from Alzheimer's, which is a terrible disease. So thoughts out to him.
This is where I'm a wee bit now. This is where I feel like the editing's going to really kick in.
Well, so, I'm no fucking Wolf, mate, so we're heading over to Celtic.
Right, okay, so let's move on to Celtic then. This is going to be quite interesting to see what you two guys are thinking. Strong game. I believe it was Kilmarnock, wasn't it? It was was that their latest game that they won 2-0?
Correct, yeah.
After their kind of European victory, which is 5-0. So I take it we should probably start with a 5-0 hammering because that's kind of them guaranteed to be qualified now.
And you know what? I know it's all this. We want to see other Scottish teams do well because it helps the coefficient. I can't give a fuck about the coefficient. You know what I mean? I do obviously give a fuck about the coefficient, but I don't name do well. That's my honest opinion.
I'd love to see a day, Baz, where the coefficient score is so low that we have to have a fucking trolley race at Asda Govan first before we can even get a fucking game.
Well, bring your pounds because as the government, you obviously need a pound for the trolley. They've not caught up with all these other supermarkets that have decided let's do away with the pound issue. So they're still in the dark ages.
Okay.
I can just see us like cool runnings, like having to practice. Mine were like before they get into the Olympics, they're all having to run down the hill and everything like that. That'll be like us trying to get into the Champions League qualifiers. That's what we need to do. We need to start racing and everything like that. Like, let's really earn it, boys.
And
But
Rangers
yeah,
man, you get 4 corn on the cobs and 2 tins of beans on their first leg. They just need an apple to finish.
They absolutely creamed the team. They're obviously through and against Kilmarnock the 1-2-0 as well.
And do you know the only thing I really noticed was that I think Boydie had a bit of a stinker. He never really had any shots on target, and a couple of times as well. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm pretty sure I seen a clip when the ball just went through his legs. He just kind of went, "Oh fuck's sake!" or something, a bastard. Do you know what I mean? Like he just kind of accepted it. Like,
It's just going to be one of the days.
Poor Boydie, aye.
The thing is, like you're saying, it was close, but Celtic had 63% of the possession, 15 shots versus 3, 6 on target versus 0 on target for Kilmarnock. So it was. I mean, the only thing it was level on was corners, and it's clear that Kilmarnock were trying to play a fouling game similar to Hibs against us because they fouled 15 times to Celtic's 6. So.
Also, there's a funny thing up. I think it was on Talking Balls or something like that. There, where they were interviewing Lee McCulloch before the game, but literally you could see his tactics just behind him while he was getting interviewed, like an hour before the game. So you could actually read what he was actually planning to do to try and stop them. So I thought that was that's embarrassing. I think that's basically all I can really say about Celtic. I never really watched the game. The only thing I thought was interesting as well was that Stevie Smith was playing centre mid against Celtic, which was quite interesting. Moving away.
Interesting. Because they had 5 academy graduates line up, didn't they? Against Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
And obviously the big news this week is Patrick Roberts set to return back on loan. That's going to be announced this week apparently. I think that's fantastic for him because he's a fucking quality player. And as long as he continues to miss open goals against us, then we'll be all right. But aye, it's good news for them.
And the last
I always found Stevie Smith to be. Sorry, mate. I'm just saying. You're saying Stevie Smith was playing midfield. I always found he was quite versatile. That he could play multi roles. You know, he was pretty good bombing up the right wing, crossing the ball, playing right mid, similar to what Tav does. But it's just unfortunate he wasn't just a wee bit better at one or the other. You know, he was no bad at both.
Yeah, I think that's somewhere he will excel because he's lost his pace now. I think that's why they're kind of moving away from the left back. But what he has still got is he's still got a good pass on him. He's obviously the free kick sort of specialist there as well, so he's got that on him. So protect him in the middle of the park. He's still got the defensive positioning and that as well to help it. It makes sense just to kind of cover up. Well, they've not really got that many players that can play in positions when you've got like a talented player. Maybe sort of degrading, kind of like what we're doing with Kenny Miller. We're just finding a way to work him into the squad just to improve it as best as we can.
Aye, agreed. And it's a shame because Stevie Smith had such massive potential. Because I remember when he scored that peach of a goal against Aberdeen, and then shortly after that he was out for like fucking forever because of his hips.
A year and a half.
And I think that's probably what kind of lost him a bit of pace and stuff like that. Whilst he got all that corrected and sorted it, so it was a bit of a shame. But there you go, he's doing all right.
And the last little bit of news that I've been tweeted into, like kind of for us to give our thoughts on, is Armstrong signed a new 2-year deal, but some of the Celtic followers that kind of follow my channel are kind of like, is that not showing a kind of lack of commitment to the team? Like they're just saying he's only signing that so Celtic can sell him on for more money in the January transfer window. It doesn't really, it's not like a 5-year deal where he's committing to the club. It's just like protecting his contract doesn't run out so they can punt him. That's what some of the guys are thinking that we're doing. So they just wanted their thoughts on that to say it was weird that he only signed a 2-year deal.
I think that's accurate. I think you're absolutely right in your summarization there. I think the club are trying to protect his worth because if you've got a player like that, and as we've spoken about before, Armstrong's a fucking cracking player. Mm-hmm. You'd want to sign him up for as long as humanly possible, a minimum 5-year deal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And to go for 2 years is a wee bit disrespectful to the fans, really. But if that's all he's willing to commit to, then that's all you can tie him up on.
What they'll do is they'll keep him because now that I've got Paddy Robertson, if maybe an offer comes in, they might punt him or they'll keep him to January and get rid of him. A 2-year deal for a player like that isn't a long-term signing. I don't think he wants to be there. I think there's been some reports that he wants to move down south. So I think that's where he wants to go. But Celtic's just covering their losses just now, just in case, so they can maybe get another player or two in for obviously the Champions League game. So they're going to have more games, so they need a big squad, and I think that's why they're doing it. But yeah, that answers those tweets that I've screenshotted on my phone. Boom. Dundee. Although that's McCann's team.
It is, and we like Neil McCann.
Exactly.
The big news story this week, one that made me chuckle, is the club has revealed its latest plans for a new stadium, which I can reveal is being constructed out of American-style hot dogs and held together by mustard in a cost-saving exercise to try and make the city of culture again. So that's what they're up to.
Yeah. I've got literally nothing on Dundee. I couldn't find anything really interesting. It just says Neil McCann's blaming his team for his loss against Aberdeen, saying it was because he's an inexperienced squad, they'll get better. Kind of like this standard, typical manager thing where Young will learn for this. Kind of the Warb sort of echo it in some way, but we're a bit worried about that. Apart from that, they lost 2-1 against Aberdeen this week, and that's pretty much the news.
I'll tell you something funny about Dundee. It was what Scott Allen said. I don't know if you heard it. I think, do you know about that one? About all the teams? He said something like, Gers fans don't like him because he signed for Celtic. Celtic fans don't like him because he left. Dundee fans don't like him because he started his career in Dundee United. Dundee United fans don't like him because he's new at Dundee. And Aberdeen fans don't like him because he was a Gers fan growing up. So pretty much everybody dislikes the boy.
Story of the week. There's actually 2 other important points to note about Dundee. One is they've recruited Josh Meekings on a 1-year contract with the option of another year from Inverness Caledonian Thistle, which I think could be a good signing for them. But also their star striker, Sofian Musa, is facing a month out of action as he's recovering from knee surgery, which is a shame because he got off to a flyer with his hat-trick on his debut. But it's not to be, which is only good news for us.
That's the boy we made a fool, eh? Like saying, who's this guy? And then 2 weeks later, banging in goals, and we look like a dick.
Pretty much.
Do you want to talk quickly about Dundee United? Because apparently they enjoyed the championship quick roundup. I'll just quickly say it just because there's a couple in the comments. That they've won again. They beat Queen of the South, who's top of the league that we spoke about last week. 2-1 with 10 men. And also beat Brecon 1-0 yesterday as well. So they're kind of just strengthening the top. Kind of like what we discussed. It's going to be them and St Mirren about the top. But yeah, that answers that question for you guys want to know about Dundee United in the championship. They've won again, the bastards.
I think they'll win the league. And I think they'll win the championship down there. And I was watching the cup games with Dundee, and Rangers ex-play with him on loan, Billy King, is looking pretty good. He's doing well. I think he's playing out in the left, sort of left wing. Transition between the left wing and maybe he's playing up front, I'm not sure, but he was looking pretty dangerous at the past couple of games that I've seen him in.
That's something we spoke about. We're like, he's another good player. I was really surprised that they managed to get him for what they're going for. Obviously, they've strengthened with like Scott McDonald as well, who knows where the back of the goal is. We kind of agreed that maybe the SPL isn't really where Scott McDonald needs to be. I think he'll score a bag loads down there. And like when you've got supply like players like Billy King in your squad, you're always going to create. And I'm with you, Baz. I picked him to win the league. I kind of hope Falkirk would, because that's where I'm from. But yeah, I think it'll be Dundee as well. Dundee United, sorry. We're off to next.
Hamilton.
Oh, that fucking team I always forget. I don't think I've got one hang up with it now. I think I've got one hang on them again.
Well, they beat Hibernian, which was a great result.
Oh. I actually found out about that on my live stream because I was obviously raging yesterday, and they were all just like, Craig, Hamilton. I was like, why is everyone shouting out Hamilton? And then I checked and I was like, oh, cheeky. Like that. 3-1, wasn't it?
It was 3-1, mate, yeah. Very, very good. Neil Lennon put firmly back in his box.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, he's tried to say that's grounded the players. That's what he said to. That's what he said. Grounded the players so they can get their heads back into the training or something like that. He tried to say after the Rangers result, they're rocking, thinking they were big daddy, big ball. So that loss will actually help them grow as a team. That's what he said.
Interesting.
Actually, it could. I mean, it's like you say, it's good that Hibernian get knocked down a wee peg or two, you know what I mean? But this whole thing about the players, did you just call them fucking something big balls or whatever? See, when your managers get that sort of persona, it's kind of hard for the players naughty. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you look at Walter Smith and he had this persona of class, integrity, you know, he passed all these things on to the players, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. You saw that was a leader, and you took inspiration for that. So how the fuck players can look at that prick and adopt some of his characteristics, walking about thinking you're the man and all that when you're no. Like Stokesy, for example, I mean, he's just going to be an absolute fucking tool. Yeah, guy, you can see about third game in and he's already acting like a wanker. I mean, it could have been 3-0. I think he scored Stokesy actually, and I think it was in the dying seconds of the game, like the 95th or 94th minute or something. So it could have been 3-0 there. But it's good to see Hibs getting knocked down a wee peg.
Kind of happy to see Bingham score a couple of goals for Hamilton. We've not really talked on him. He's actually quite a deadly finisher, apparently. As we're starting to grow more on the podcast, and more fans coming and says you should speak about Bingham more. He knows where the back of the net is. and he's ended up banging another double. So shout out to that subscriber who fired that last week.
And one of the Hamilton goals got a goal of the week, I think, as well. And it's an absolute fucking peach. If you get a chance, watch it back. It's been retweeted a lot on Twitter just now, and it's basically like it's a passing move. So it comes through midfield, out to the left channel, comes to the left channel to the edge of the box, and then across the box, then into the middle, and then across the front. And it's just pulling the defenders about. They haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing. And it's a really smart passing and finishing move, like proper like Barcelona-esque. It's superb.
That's all I've got in Hamilton. Snags, anything else you want to add?
Just to point out that they are now 4th in the table, above Hibernian, only on goal difference, but an impressive start.
So
The Jambotrons, the Jambotrons.
So yeah, I kind of expected to have a different conversation about them, to be honest with you, before the game yesterday. But does anyone else want to start off? Where do you want to go with Hearts?
We can start off with the latest headline, which is John Daly saying that Hearts are lacking fitness because Caffro is away. Allegedly due to his training methods, saying that obviously they weren't challenged enough, so now they're just fucking blown after 10 minutes. So I'm not sure if that stands up, to be honest, because from what I heard, Caffro was quite a sort of Warburton-esque type trainer, where it was long drills, sometimes twice a day. So unknown.
It's kind of weird because I thought they actually played, annoyingly, when you look back at the game against Rangers, obviously that was the latest game, and that's probably what most people want to hear us talk about. I thought they defended really, really well, which is surprising, especially when you consider, like, no disrespect, John Daly is the manager and obviously doing the tactics. I thought Pedro had an absolutely outstanding game, and so did, I can't pronounce his name, so I just call him Sooty. That's for the Rangers career mode. When I've done it, I thought they two played really, really well. Yeah. And they sat basically everyone behind the ball, but they all kind of knew their jobs and they defended, and they didn't look like they were blowing out their arse. They were kind of running to the last man.
Agreed, and I thought they dealt with us pretty well, particularly down the right channel where they were doubling up on Tavernier and Candias. So we struggled to get crosses in the box at times.
Over to Baz, what's your thoughts on the Rangers and Hearts 0-0 draw at home? Kenny Miller.
Usually I would just say something, but I thought a wee bit more manners since I'm a guest in your podcast. And that, do you know what I mean? Snags, you know that I'm saying I'm all mannered on your podcast, but. Well, right, I thought Windass was being a bit creative doing the left. I think Windass has got slightly better the past coming games. I thought we lost a bit of form, and I actually thought he was going to be one of the guys who would be getting Pedro Caxinha chop. I thought he'd have been at the door, but I think he's looking a bit better. The only thing I will say, I thought Brandon's tackle on him was a red card. I know he got a yellow, but I felt that was a red. It should have been off. And the other thing I've got to say, it's the old cliche about, they do everything right apart from put the ball in the net. It's cliche as fuck. It's good to see a clean sheet, but we had some chances, and unfortunately we weren't able to score. And I think Suter could have potentially scored goal of the season. Don't know if you remember that strike. It was
fucking peach, that absolutely
35 yards out, and it just kept going and going and going. West Foderingham never really had a chance. Hit the crossbar, I believe. Came back out, and then I think West had to make a good save. No long after that, maybe down to his left or something. But that could have been goal of the season. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
It was bad, and like you say, Windass was the standout player in the game for me, certainly in the first half, and it's clear they were just trying to sort of bully him out of the game. And he had that turn on the edge of the box where the ball came to him, and he lost the defender, but obviously got tripped and fucking done his back in. But that was pretty much by far our best chance of the game, I think, to kind of get something. And obviously the goal that was offside, wasn't he offside as well? Just to be
horrendous, horrendous.
Shocking decision.
I thought.
I think.
Carry on, Bass.
No, sorry. I think we discussed this in We Welcome the Chase podcast. I think it was a question for one of our viewers that asked, "Do we think that this is going to be a recurring theme throughout the season, poor refereeing?" And I think already that it's been pretty evident that it is going to be a current theme.
Agreed.
Because you consider, if you look at it like that could have cost us potentially 6 points if you think about it. Because that's 3 points against Hearts. But then if Ryan Jack doesn't get sent off, if we're losing that game, maybe dropping Kenny Miller in midfield and losing the midfield battle against Hibs. It's one of these things. But back to Hearts, I thought their goalkeeper made a really, really good save as well. Hamilton, he's a young sort of goalkeeper for Kenny Miller. I think it kind of rebounded to Kenny, and the goalkeeper made a really smart save. And apart from that, I thought Kyle Lafferty was quite quiet. Didn't really see much for him, but I thought Berra played probably his best game of the season, annoyingly, because he was an absolute monster. He just sort of commanded his line really, really well. Showed what a good signing he's been.
The keeper was funny because like he was pulling off some cracking saves, like you say, but he couldn't fucking kick the ball out for Toffee.
No,
he kept smashing it out the fucking park. Like, what you fucking doing?
The only bit of bad news for Hearts is that apparently their striker, their forward is meant to be moving away to League One this season or this week to one of the French. I can't remember the French name's team, but yeah, he's apparently supposed to be leaving, so that'll be kind of a blow if he goes as well. And you look who's actually going to be able to play up front. Maybe Jamie Walker if he's still there.
Good luck with that.
What do you think of his performance? A lot of people said he spat the dummy out because he wants to play for Rangers. I got a lot of heat for that, for Hearts fans saying, "Oh, he's no ball. That was his worst game I've ever seen him play. He didn't try or this shite."
I think he looked pretty average, to be fair, but I think he probably did what he was asked to do.
The media as well have already started on the whole Pedro Caxinha thing because we've dropped points again. I read something in one of these fucking absolute shit papers today. Now, by the way, I didn't buy it. I just went in the shop, opened up the pages, scrumpled it up a wee bit and put it back so nobody else would buy it. And they said something along the lines, it was like Pedro Caxinha and Walker. I think they were shaking hands.
Yeah.
And had like a wee caption. And it said, Pedro said, "I'll see you next week." And Jamie Walker replied, "Oh, you think you're going to be there that long?" So is this the newspapers already starting their shit? Thinking that, Pedro's days are numbered. Fucking media up here doing my head in.
So let's move on to Motherwell then. So Chris Cadden got another 0.79 expected assists per game, which is pretty fucking awesome. And he leads the league in both the expected assists and XG chain. So what a fucking player he is.
You mentioned that last week, and actually people really liked that. Like, see where you kind of named up the start, because they didn't really expect a player like that to be that, especially when Motherwell's kind of been a wee bit hit or miss. I think it's true, every game they've been involved in sort of red card in the last month or something like that.
Yeah,
because that's kind of mental as well. What was the latest game where was it a 2-0 victory against Ross County? Is that the latest one?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the previous game they got kind of pumped off St Johnstone. I think we didn't talk about that the last time either. But yeah, that was Michael O'Halloran's game again, I think.
Yeah, he scored again, Michael O'Halloran, didn't he? We'll get there in a minute, but.
He's looking good. Motherwell again starting to pick up points. That's what you're kind of needing. Moult scored a penalty, and apart from that, it just looks like they're back to normal now. Sort of solid unit. I'm still expecting them to finish kind of the bottom tier, but they're picking up points. That's what they need to do, especially at home for a team like that. I've got a quick wee thing to say about Partick Thistle. Last week when I was in my work, an actual Partick Thistle fan was obviously buying something from my shop, and he knew sort of who I was. So he started telling me about the Partick Thistle game against Celtic, and he honestly ranted for about 15 minutes saying they were absolutely robbed. So I just wanted to mention it just in case he's watching again. He talked about how is it Doolans or something like that? What's the guy's name? There's a player for Partick Thistle that should have scored a tap in, and also they were absolutely robbed for a penalty, which we didn't mention enough. So yeah, he was just wanting me to mention that, saying they were absolutely robbed that game. They should have not only drew with Celtic, but actually bet them. That's what he said, apparently. A deflected goal for Celtic. So that was it. I gave you a shout out, mate. I've actually blanked your name, but yeah, I'll cut that out.
Yeah, Doolan, mate, you're right. It's Doolan.
Doolan, yeah. So he apparently missed an open goal that we didn't mention, and also they should have had a Stonewall penalty as well.
Oh dear.
So I mentioned, mate. Mention.
Right, so to the Gers then.
Oh, the Rangers.
Even though we've spoken already about the game and the McLeish story, a couple of other wee things. Obviously, Carlos Pena, but we'll get to him in a minute. But
I always get asked about him, so just put it to bed, Snacks.
I will, mate. I will. I've got some disturbing news about him actually. Old Firm Derby, unbelievable, said Ronald De Boer. Now he had a wee interview with BBC today, and he was asked who the greatest Rangers player was he ever played alongside. Do you know what his answer was?
I genuinely
his
didn't.
brother Frank.
Incorrect.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I'll go Moles.
Do you know what? He mentions Michael Moles in the build-up to revealing his answer.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Incorrect. Barry Ferguson.
Oh, Barry. Nice.
Said,
Barry.
When obviously Michael Moles was more technically gifted than Barry Ferguson, he says, but when Barry Ferguson was at the top of his game, there was nobody better than him in the Rangers team at the time. So
the world.
the fucking world, mate. Barry Ferguson was a legend.
I still remember when he hit like a 40-yard pass against Dundee United to Ronald De Boer. De Boer touched it down. Kenny ran about the box and then cut it back, and Barry had ran straight into the box and hit it first time in the top corner. I was like,
oh, sexual, mate.
Sexual chocolate. Mark Henry.
Sexual chocolate.
That was for Baz. That was one.
So obviously we've got Ross County away from home next weekend, so that should be a win for us without fucking a shadow of a doubt.
I put this question to you because that was one of the ends that I mentioned in my video. Well, I'm actually reading the comments for today's video. If we lose against Ross County, is that like the final nail in Pedro's coffin? What do you think about that? I think it's far too early to sack him, but they're saying if the question is, if Pedro loses to County, he must go, full stop. But I'm just going to pose that as a question.
No, I think, like I said previously, when we actually started this show, I'll give him six games, and then evaluate after that.
Right.
I disagree because see if he gets sacked, it means the people that appointed him in the first place are admitting they fucked up. Now, I think I said this previously as well. The guy's been chosen and he deserves to at least Christmas, I think, personally, right? However, I know we can argue and say at the end of last season, but he inherited another squad who were used to a different style of playing, all that, blah, blah, blah. So we've cleared out in the summer. He's brought in his own players. Now, see if he goes, and if it turns out he's not the right guy for the job, I won't have an issue with him. My issue is, who the fuck is appointing these people in the first place? Do you know what I mean? How are these people getting off the hook? Mark Warburton didn't work out. We've got in Pedro, caxinha. If it doesn't work out, who the fuck is responsible for that? Who's these people that are appointing these people in the first place? So I won't have any gripes with Pedro caxinha, but I think he certainly deserves a chance to make it work. And see the Ross County, see the thought of losing the Ross County, it can't even process in my head at the moment. Sort of, do you remember the whole thing about Europe? It was like, oh, it's not even, you can't even compute it. The idea of fucking not getting 3 points out of Ross County isn't even computing in my head. So it's like a hypothetical conversation I can't even have. What if? Find it hard to even
mention.
Aye.
I've been sent a real interesting tweet, right? I just want to read to these guys just to get your initial thoughts. It's about the Pedro situation. He wrote, it's for Andrew McGilwray at AMC McGilwray. He said, Mark Warburton had a better start to the season with a squad less than third of the price of the current one. Same amount of players to bed in. No plan B, just like Pedro. So I just wanted to see what your thoughts about that. Because Warburton had the same amount of players, 7 players to embed in the squad, a lot worse budget and everything like that. I just wanted to see what your initial... I thought that was just an interesting tweet to actually read out. When they sent that one into me, I was like, that's quite... I never thought about it like that. Because a lot of people were giving Warburton slack.
It's an interesting stat, but see if you look at the fixtures for last season, I think our first couple of games was like Partick Thistle,
Hamilton.
fucking Hamilton. Aye, so if you look at the fixtures, that wasn't Hibs, Hearts. Do you know, we're playing Ross County next week, and I'm fucking making comments about the fixtures being different. But it's an interesting.
Oh, we've got Celtic after that, though, haven't we?
Oh, that's right.
Well, the thing is, we've got Dundee. I think is it no Ross County, Dundee, Partick Thistle, then Celtic.
Is it?
Because they're a national break.
Because I'm pretty sure I predicted.
I'm pretty
sure I predicted that both teams would go undefeated right up until the Old Firm game. Yeah, that was my initial prediction.
All right. So I look forward to your SPFL predictions in the league then towards the end, because we know they're going to be right.
Well, I've got them whenever you're ready.
Anyway, we'll fire up at the end anyway. That way I can just fire something up like a graphic or someone to post it. But I just thought, Snags, you got anything to say about that Warburton stat? Compared, he had the same amount of players, afforded the budget and everything like that. I just thought, just to see your thoughts.
Aye, well, I think I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, like Baz says, there was a different set of fixtures, and it's a different culture and a different style of play. So, I kind of get where people are coming from saying that he did better, but Warburton knew the players that he was bringing in inside and out, and I don't think Pedro knows all of them. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, he's kind of working with some players that Warburton had, so he's technically kind of trying to change their mindsets and style of play as well. So I guess I'm sort of affording him some excuses here when actually I should be as pissed off as these guys, but. I think that's just reality, So
got to bear in mind as well. Mark Warburton was already there, wasn't he? He'd been here the year previously, so although he did, I think he also made 11 changes. I think 11 went out and 11 came in, so he did make a lot of changes as well. But he was already there, and half the players were already playing a certain system and all that. And by the way, I'm not making excuses for Pedro Caxinha one bit. I mean, I think it's a terrible start. I think we've spent a lot of money and we should be playing a lot better. So I'm not making excuses, but it is an interesting stat, to be fair.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. We're Andrew, wee cheeky little comment for that.
Cheers, Andrew.
Cheers, buddy. Anything else you want to talk about the Glasgow Rangers?
I was going to mention about.
I just realised.
Pena, what are you going?
Sorry, I just realised there when I said that whole bit, I was sitting looking at this.
I thought you were doing it for a dramatic effect, like.
And I'm not even on.
Who's past talking? Like.
Shout at this camera. Sorry about that.
He's going to be like an actor, right? Hit me with that line again, Craig, while looking at my camera, the correct camera lens.
Right, you want to do that again? You got to remember Mark Warburton was already there. He was there the year before. I know he made 11 changes. I think 11 went in, 11 went out. So half the players already knew. By the way, I'm not making excuses for Pedro Caxinha. I think it's fucking shocking. It's a terrible start. It's an interesting stat.
Thanks. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for saying that in, Andrew.
Cheers, Andrew.
Slags, you said something else about the whole Glasgow?
I was going to talk about Pena, or however you say it.
So obviously, got to explain it.
We've been getting a lot of questions over the past few weeks regarding Carlos Pena and why he's not been featuring in the squad. What's the deal with it? Initially, we thought it might be fitness related, adjusting to Scottish life and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, affording him a bit of time. He was in the squad at the weekend, but didn't actually feature at all. And it's come to light this week through some tweets and stuff that we've been seeing on Twitter that basically he likes the bevy. He's out every single night on the bevy and he's eating really badly. He's being pictured in places like Nando's and fucking Pizza Hut and that. So I think he's the lifestyle choices that the guy is making are not affording him to deserving of a first team start. But apparently, allegedly, Pedro was warned of that before he signed him on. But obviously, he thought that he could maybe turn it around. But I think he's sort of finding out the gravity of such a project, and it's not really working out well at the moment. So that's what I've heard on him.
Who would do that?
Fuck knows.
So I just want to ask, what about Nico's performance?
No, didn't he?
No, I need to, because I said in my predictions video, right? I said that Nico for Rangers. I think you saw this, bad, and you gave me grief about this in the Welcome to Chase podcast. I said this isn't the game for Nico because he's not going to match intensity. He's too slow with the ball, and he'll stop us from playing. And he came on, and I'm not trying to brag, but the different intensity, slow the ball down. But you saw it, so I just want to see what you guys are thinking.
No, you don't want to see what us guys think. You just want to give me a fucking hard time. I gave you a hard time. And no, this is your house for in. This is your manor. And you think, right, I'll get that bastard. So I'll give you that one.
Get the fucking smug look on his face as well, Baz. You know what I mean? He's like, so what do you think, lads? Come on, let's fucking do it.
Baz,
fuck you. I'm fucking up.
You know I like Nico. You know I do like Nico Cranchard, but you were right. Horses for courses and all that sort of shit. And I always thought that Dorrans and Jack, they're very similar. I know you've got a hard-on for Ryan Jack. I found they were very similar, and I found your two centre mids could be different. You could maybe get like Nico Cranchard with that creativity, with maybe Ryan Jack with that defensive sort of mind, and I thought the two of them would work well with Dorrans or whatever. So I thought Nico could have made some sort of impact. So pains me, it fucking pains me. It pains me to see this, but you were right enough.
That fucking kick as well, man. It was diabolical.
Why did Bruno not take it?
Or fucking Tav. Why did Tav not take it?
That was the same chance. Was that not the exact same angle as the Dunfermline chance?
Yeah.
Like everything was exactly the same. That was off and annoying. Like, see when I spat my done when he was out wide, he finally done something right, but then he took a touch, he ball rolled, he fake shotted back, he fake shotted. Never crossed it, passed it back to Wallace. I was like, for fuck's sake, Nico, just go forward, mate.
Perfect. The triple fake shot and pass back is always a winner. It always works.
I'm sure that's the name of a shot in the triple P, Baz.
It sure is.
That's it. That's on the Nico performance.
Aye, and just to kind of roll back to Pena a wee bit, I just want to, defend him a wee bit, and that the guys come from Mexico into fucking Glasgow. They've shopped him into a fucking hotel by himself, and he's going home at night, and he's just what today? I wonder what Baz is up to tonight.
Wanted my namesake. Get the namesake on the team, the dark horse of the season.
The big St. J, Michael O'Halloran's 4th goal. Incidentally, Tommy Wright says that Michael O'Halloran is better after his Ibrox spell. No shit, man. He's learnt 2 new fucking systems of football, the crazy bastard. He's basically Messi. So that's pretty much it. The big news, they beat Partick Thistle, and they are sitting pretty in 2nd in the league at the moment with maximum 9 points, goal difference of 5, only 1 behind Celtic. So good thing for the big St.
And they've got Colin Hendry's son up front. You can't really complain about that. Big Callum Hendry. I think that's basically one of the things that I talked about. I think they're really going to be a force this season. I put them out. I think they finished 3rd or 4th for Sun. And one of my predictions, I think they've just got a really, really, really good squad. Like Michael O'Halloran, I've got to be honest, I didn't expect them to play like that, if I'm honest with you. I thought he'd do all right and play well, but 4 goals, what's it, 3 games? Yeah. And I think he's got an assist as well. It's just crazy.
It is, but incidentally, the game against Partick there, if you look at the stats, they're actually quite evenly matched. St Johnstone only just edge it, 52% versus 48% possession, 7 shots versus 6, same amount of shots on targets, 1 extra corner, but Partick the majority of the fouls, 15-3. But Alan Archibald said that basically they lost a sloppy goal from some poor defending, so be interesting to see how they fare against better opposition.
Mm-hmm. They've got Celtic next, haven't they?
Aye.
They have indeed, and I'm intrigued about that match. Do you know Michael O'Halloran? I know we've only just started the season. He's the league's top goal scorer, 4 goals. I think the next top goal scorer is in 2 goals. Dorrans is one of them. Actually, I think he's got 100% percentage at goal ratio. I was looking at it. There's a bunch of folk who have all scored 2 goals. O'Halloran, zone 4. Then you've got McGregor, Griffiths, Stevie May, Bingham, Dorrans, Murray on 2 goals. Dorrans is 2 for 2, 100%. But it goes to show that before he came to Rangers, he was banging in the goals, and you put a player into a system that doesn't suit them, and then they go to shit. And now he's back playing, he's comfortable. I think he's going to be a standout player for the season, to be honest. And St Johnstone have always been a team that impressed me. If you think about the buck, your buck for bang. The money, the budget they've got, and where they seem to finish, they always seem to do reasonably well. They've always seemed to get a standout player, and I like St Johnstone. I fancy St Johnstone to do no bad this season, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised if St Johnstone take a point.
Yeah. And just to kind of add to what you said, Baz, we were talking on the our last podcast about the OSCR rating. Driggsy mentioned it, and he was saying that basically, obviously, it's a mixture of offensive versus defensive plays that a player will make, and obviously the final score is basically how influential they can be to winning a game, like the contributions they make to the team. Michael O'Halloran sits 3rd in the league behind Griffiths and Sinclair. So, like you say, I wouldn't be surprised if St Johnstone managed to come away with something at Celtic Park.
Aye, Baz, do you ken someone wrote me a song?
No.
Let me read it out to you, Baz. In fact, do you want me to rap it for you?
Aye, please go and read both parts, because I've never listened to it all, because I started getting a wee bit hangy about it.
Right, Baz.
People have wrote me songs before, just so you know.
Baz, you need to drop me a beat.
Oh, no.
There's no doubt the Novo Nation will grow, because there's only one CJ Novo, a YouTuber who got his name from Nacho Novo, the Rangers legend from Spain. When Rangers get beat, it feels like there is nothing worse, but when his video goes up on YouTube, we're all trying to get first. He makes YouTube videos and he works. He's mental. He's on his time off. He headbutts the curse. If anyone can make you feel better, he can overcome when he's off on his match recap. I have no idea what just happened in that fucking bass. What happened there? Keep going.
I have no idea, mate, but I'll tell you what, you speak to your drummer.
Carry on, there's more.
Oh, there's more, Baz. There's a lot more, mate. It's a whole song.
We're gonna speed it up now.
He listens and replies to fans, gets excited by players like a French Durans. I know he's getting better, but when he was sick, Rocky knows and predicts in Bruno Alva's free kick. So it's true. It's damn true. Listen to what the gold medalists tell you to do. Hit the subscribe button, it'll take a second, and one of these days I'll become a channel legend.
Boom, boom.
Biatch!
Drop bars. Drop bars there.
You
Thanks,
cannot
mate.
miss the sponsor breaks. Tap, tap, and then he makes a drink whilst the music plays. On every milestone, he reaches out, does his Q&A, sometimes to make an appearance on the We Welcome the Chase.
Name drop. Name drop.
Somebody kill me, please. Makai's gone. He makes match predictions, but always gets them wrong. Until Banger Boy scores, he will grow his hair long, and he's the creator of the Wallace Jogging song.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go, mate. How's that?
That's love it, mate. Honestly, beautiful.
I'll send you an invoice later.
Is there anything else? Any you got? Oh wait, no, we've got Baz's league predictions. Did he do it? Oh well, he's
Yep.
it. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Baz, tell me your predictions for the league.
Right, okay. Here's my league predictions for the 2017-2018. And it looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to get a wee bit to edit out.
My film was saying for like 30 minutes.
It looks like this, right? Now, see, at the moment, the ironic thing is, if you look at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in the league right now,
Right now.
that's how that will finish. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 will finish right now. So we're going to go at 1, will be the famous Glasgow Rangers. 2, Celtic. 3, Aberdeen. 4, St Johnstone. 5 will be Hibernian. I know. 6 will be Hearts. 7 will be Hamilton Academicals. 8, Motherwell. 9, Ross County. 10, Kilmarnock. 11, Partick Thistle. And 12 will be Dundee. That is Bazbowski's predictions.
Sponsor break. And we are back. Thank you, boys. Welcome to the sponsor break. That is it. I've been CJ Over 92. That's been Snags. That has been Baz. Thank you. Make sure to be smashing a like button, subscribing, and all that stuff as well. I've been CJ Over 92. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.